Hello everybody, welcome to this episode of Sustainable Stace. Today we're talking sauerkraut. We're going to go right from the cabbage in your garden that you've grown yourself to making sauerkraut that you can put away in your fridge or your pantry over the winter. Stay tuned. I'm Stacey Taves. For me, healthy food and sustainability are totally connected. You can grow it yourself. Nature is generous. Hey guys, welcome back to Sustainable Stace. I'm here with a few of my cabbage friends and my last jar of sauerkraut from last year. I'm just enjoying that. And one thing you've probably noticed if you've ever opened up a jar of sauerkraut before, not unlike opening up a jar of pickles, smells amazing if you're into pickled or fermented foods. And just like truly fermented dill pickles that are natural with no vinegar added, this sauerkraut that we're going to make today is done with no vinegar added. It's naturally fermented. It's chopped up cabbage with salt added, aged, and then put away and stored. I'll just tell you briefly how we're going to do it. I'm going to mix up some green and some red cabbage. This is a really cool variety of cabbage called Filterkraut that was apparently bred by Germans, the lovers and the promoters of sauerkraut globally. Isn't got a cool shape to it, and this one weighs about 7 pounds. And I'm going to mix it with some red cabbage, which I've understood this year actually has more vitamin C than green cabbage and tends to even be a little healthier. So I chose to grow some red cabbage this year, and I'm going to mix these guys all together. Now I've got the little scale here, and I always kind of check out how much my cabbage weighs to see what I've got. And I've taken a peek at this already. Move out of the way, buddy. Let him see the scale. And see, that's about a 7.5 pounder there. About 7.5, almost 8 pounds. So when you add all three of these guys up, they weigh about 22 pounds. Now the way that I do the sauerkraut's pretty simple. I'm just going to grab my handy dandy knife and start chopping. Chop that cabbage all up. And I'm going to put it in what I call a primary fermenter, which is usually made for beer. It's just a lot of clean space to punch, and I mean literally punch. For every 10 pounds of cabbage I put into that's chopped up, I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt. So if you want to make a 40-pound batch, put in 4 tablespoons. If you just want to make a 10-pound batch, just put in 1 tablespoon. But the primary fermenter is way bigger than the crock I'm going to age in. It gives me lots of space to punch away, and I mean literally punch away. You got to break down all the cell structure in the cabbage. With the salt added, it's going to release all the moisture that's in the cabbage, and that's going to submerge it. And then we're just going to transfer it into a big crock. This is a 3-galloner. It can hold up to 30 pounds of cabbage. So with 22 pounds, it'll probably come up to about here. And then once it's rocking away in there, I've got 2 handy little things to keep it submerged, because the sauerkraut's got to stay under the surface of the liquid. I put a piece of wood on top of the sauerkraut that's brewing. I put the rock on to hold it under, and then I put the lid on. After about a week to 10 days, it should have the funk I'm looking for. I test it, check it. If you want it to be more fermented, you let it go longer. Here we go. Let's get started. Now here's an interesting camera angle. I'm down on the floor with a lot of cabbage ready to punch down. And the one thing that might really surprise you when you get going on this is you could start into it listening to my instructions so far, and when you get it to this point before you've punched it, we'll call it pre-punched, you'll go, this is way more sauerkraut than I was banking on. But I'm going to assure you, as you punch it down, it's going to shrink in volume. So this tiny little 3-gallon crock right here, it will hold all of this, which if I put it all together right now would be over 5 gallons. So I just want you to see into these containers. There's over 5 gallons of sauerkraut, it looks like, or cabbage right now. It's going to punch down, and it's going to be half this volume when I'm done punching. Now before I get punching, I just want to tell you 1 or 2 other things about cabbage when you're harvesting it, okay? Are you ready for this? Please, please don't uproot the plant. Don't rip the little fella up. Let the plant stay intact. Either twist off the cabbage or cut it off, but don't uproot it, because a few good things will happen if you leave the root systems in. It's going to add nutrition and life back into the soil. And the other beautiful thing, if you leave the plant in the ground and just remove the cabbage, it'll probably grow you another cabbage. So be good to your cabbage and don't uproot it. Now I'm going to start punching, and we're going to see where this takes us. Now as a reminder, lots of salt, right? Remember how much? 1 tablespoon for every 10 pounds. So I've added all the salt to this, and you can see how quickly it's starting to come down. And I've done this in the past, and if it's kind of cold in winter, and my hands have been taking a bit of abuse working outside in the cold, and they're getting chapped and they're not used to the change in weather, before my sauerkraut's ready, my knuckles are bleeding. And I have to like put on gloves or else you'd get like some weird twisted version of like blood kraut, which I don't think anyone's digging. So punching is the best way. I'm sure you could use like a mortar and pestle style thing and get a big stick or something. But you can already see how much this is coming down in volume now. I'm just stirring it up so everything, it's equal opportunity punching, right? It's already shrunk down so much that I can add the green to it. And then from there, we can keep on punching. You probably don't have to stick around and watch all this. Does it take a while? I'm thinking 10 minutes of just straight all out MMA on this stuff. And after I've submitted the cabbage, we'll transfer it into the crock. Come back soon.
Okay, I'm still down here on my knees, but I'm almost done.
Look at how much has happened here. This has shrunk so much, all the green and all the reds together, and it's about at the 2 gallon mark. Just want you to see how much it's changed. It's all wilted now. You can see the cell structure's broken down and moisture starting to come out of it. Don't despair. Keep punching, and eventually the liquid coming out of the cabbage is going to rise up and it's going to submerge the cabbage, and then you know you're ready to transfer to the crock, okay? So just keep on punching. Don't despair. You can do this. Use both hands and just keep on going. You've almost got it. You've almost got it. It's worth it. The sauerkraut's going to be amazing. Just salt, some chopping and punching, and you got this. Okay. So almost all the cabbage has let up its juice now, and we're just transferring it to the crock where we're going to start packing it down and putting the weight on top. As this compresses, give it a few minutes, the juice starts to come up. It's going to fully submerge itself in its own juices because of the punching and because of the salt we put on it. And I'll just grab that. Now this is a 3 gallon crock and it's at about the 2.5 mark, like I'd said. And this is just a clean piece of untreated wood. Goes on top. And a weight, a rock, that's going to prevent it from floating. We're going to give this about 15 minutes and the liquid will be coming up and it'll actually be submerging the piece of wood. And when I know that's taking place, I'll just put the crock lid on it, shove it in the corner of my kitchen, give it a week, and we'll be tasting sauerkraut. Hey guys, I'm here on a sunny fall day, and it's been 2 weeks since we packed away the sauerkraut with a mix of the filterkraut and the red cabbage. I've been very self-disciplined. I tucked this away in the corner of our dining room, and I haven't opened the lid. So I don't know what it's gonna look like, and I'm wanting you to invite you in with me as we open it up and see what's been growing in there and how it looks. I just wish that I had the sense of smell to dispatch to you through the camcorder. So I'm just going to change the camera angle and we're going to go right inside and take a look at it, and then we're just going to transfer it into jars for both storing in the fridge and for canning for long-term storage. So here we go. Okay guys, I'm taking the lid off. We're going to see what we get here. And oh my goodness, there's an incredible fermented smell coming off of this. My hands are washed as I go in. There's my rock weight, and in here is the wood. Do you see all that liquid that's coming out there? Everything's fully submerged, so that means that nothing was spoiled in here. Everything that's in was underwater, so it's covered well. I'm just going to use a bowl to scoop off the foam that's around, and I'll just toss that aside, and then we'll look further inside and see what we got. So I'm outside on my lawn, so it's easy to just set this aside. Okay, there's the real deal. So I'm just going to lift this up so you can see it. Pinkish, purplish sauerkraut because of the red cabbage in there. Oh, the smell is incredible. You got to taste it as well. It's really sweet. It's sweeter than most sauerkraut I've had, and just beautifully pickled. You can't get it, and it's so crunchy. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's beautiful. So now we're just going to switch the camera angle again, go back to putting it into jars and show you how to do that. It's super simple. Okay, so we got the crock. I've skimmed off the foam, tasted it. I know it's amazing. Nothing is spoiled at all. And I've just got a few jars here with a filling funnel and a few different ways to slice and dice, right? It's really simple. When you've got it all like this, it's really easy to just fill it into a jar, get it in there. Wide mouth jars are generally easier. You know, a couple handfuls and you've got a full jar of sauerkraut, right? And the beautiful thing here is that you want liquid, and there's lots of it in the crock. You can pack it into that jar, get it in there nice and full. And if you've ever canned things, you know, you just want to get really close to the top of the jar and the underside of the lid, but not all the way, and then you just want to submerge it with a little bit of fluid, right? So as I'm pushing down, the liquid is coming up. And so when you get to that point, I just keep a little liquid measure like this, pop it in there. And so now I've got my level up to just like a 1/4 inch below the top of the jar. So something like that, wide mouth jar with a new canning sealer, and with this crock as full as it is, that's ready to can, right? So put a few of those in a canner and boil away, and in about 20 minutes, everything's preserved. When it comes out of the canner and cools, that'll seal, and you'll know it's sealed because that'll be depressed. If it's not depressed, then it's not sealed. And then the flip to that, if you don't want to can it, and this is where I really like to use a plastic lid because it doesn't spoil or corrode, is that I would just fill a jar up, again, same dealio. But this is not about canning now, this is about just putting it in the fridge. You'll notice I'm doing this on a cookie sheet, so most of my mess just spills onto a clean cookie sheet or a baking pan, and then I can just, you know, mop it up. Nothing's wasted, nothing's lost. And oh, this is like the best sauerkraut I've ever made, and it's such funky bright pink. It's like I used highlighters, but it's just the natural color of the red cabbage. So it's crunchy, it's got a beautiful texture, it's sweet, you got all this natural ferment. So my goal is to put a bunch of them in the fridge, and the balance that I can't jam in the fridge, I will can. So again, here we go, we got it right full. It's a little shy on liquid. Take a little bit of liquid and top it up. Now the liquid comes up to cover all the cabbage, like that. And then when you get one of these are so good, right? Because it's a totally non-corroding lid, and you're good to toss that in the fridge. That'll last for months. It's not gonna go bad, really. So, oh, I'm so glad. I feel so blessed. Cabbage rocks. Sauerkraut's amazing. Well, guys, we got sauerkraut made. That's a wrap. Just going to recap with you a few of the things that we covered so you can easily pull together all those ideas if you missed a certain part somewhere along the way. When you go out to harvest your cabbage, first of all, make sure you twist off or cut off the cabbage head. Make sure the plant gets to stay in the ground where the root system can break down into the soil or possibly give you a new cabbage. That's your best way forward. And then in summary, when you get into the house or wherever you're going to be prepping the cabbage, take a quick weigh, if you can, of the cabbages so that you know how much weight you have when you're putting it together. It's going to really decrease in volume very quickly when you start chopping it up and punching it. Basically, every gallon holds about 10 pounds of fresh cabbage. So this is a 3-gallon crock, so it can handle up to 30 pounds of cabbage, right? And for every 10 pounds of cabbage you put into jars or into crocks, put in a nice heaping tablespoon of salt. That tablespoon of salt per gallon of cabbage is going to give you a nice flavor. You can do all sorts of crazy cool things as well. You could add some rosemary or add some thyme or, you know, some other flavors that you want to have in your sauerkraut, but you could very well add that later on once the sauerkraut's done. Once you've chopped that salted cabbage, you start to punch. You'll go into work the next day and you'll be like, wow, I'm kind of sore. And people are like, what did you do? How'd you work out yesterday? I'm like, I made sauerkraut. Yeah, you punch some cabbage. So you get to punch for a while, it's gonna bring out the liquid, and then you gotta make sure that cabbage is submerged, whether you're putting it in jars with a weight inside the mouth of the jar, or putting it in a crock, and like I did, put a piece of plywood and a rock on top. You just gotta get that cabbage underwater because you don't wanna get any air on your bacteria that's growing. You want it to be submerged bacteria that's happening without any oxygen accessing it. So that's really important. After about a week to 10 days, depending on temperature and things like that, you can taste it. Well, you can taste it anytime, but it should start to taste like truly fermented product like sauerkraut within a week to 10 days. Here's the cool thing. The longer you leave it in the crock, the more funk's gonna grow on it. And I mean good funk, like it's gonna get more wow in your mouth. If you don't want it super, super strong, then jar it and put it in the fridge right away. As soon as you change the temperature and get it cold, you're gonna stop that fermentation process. It's gonna stop when you put it into cold temperature, or it's gonna stop when you can it by using a really hot temperature. So you can kind of indefinitely store it by putting it in a canning jar with a canning lid and ring on it and put it into a canner and boil it. Or what I usually do is put it in 1 liter jars, 1 quart jars, put on a plastic lid that won't corrode, and you're off to the races. Put it in the fridge, it's good for months. It's a tasty way to go, right? Enjoy making sauerkraut. Hey guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Sustainable Stace about making sauerkraut. And I hope it's inspired you to grab a cabbage and get fermenting. And if you've been watching it on YouTube, I just want to ask you, before you start making that sauerkraut, just go down here in your bottom right-hand corner and subscribe to that YouTube button there, and that way each time I put out a new resource, you'll get an email in your inbox telling you to watch the next hopeful, helpful, healthy resource. Until next time, get fermenting and have a good one.